everybody, welcome back to my homestead. I'm Esther and this is Esther's Eden. Today I thought I would show you guys a little bit of an update on the seeds that we've started so far. Now, in case you're just joining us, we live in the north in a very cold climate, and so we have to be careful how much stuff we start and how early we start it. And there are certain things we want to get a jump start on because our growing season is so short. So today, these are the seedlings that we planted together about a week ago, I think, maybe more. I'll link the card so that you guys can go check out that video. I have lots of great growing tips and things that will help improve your success rate for starting seeds and getting great seedlings to transplant. Now, in here I have some jalapenos, some cayenne, and some sugar rush peppers, and then I also have some leeks that I started. We like to get a really great jump start on the season. They kind of take a while to mature, so we want to get them going as soon as possible. Now, today I'm going to be filling in the gaps. I don't like to waste space in my grow light since I have such a limited area, so I thought I'd just kind of plug in some new seeds where some of them didn't germinate. And then I have 4 cells here that I didn't plant anything in yet. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to put in, but I went ahead and looked at my planting calendar. If you guys are interested in knowing how to build your own planting calendar, I will link the card so you guys can learn how to do that. And anyway, so I looked on here, and this is an old calendar. I don't really go exact anymore, but roughly the week of the 10th or so I will start some new seeds. So today we're going to be starting some more leeks. We're going to be doing some celery, some onion seeds because seeds take a very long time. I'm also going to be doing some pansies. I like to grow these Swiss Giants from Baker Creek, and also last year I gave the Black King pansies a shot, and both of these do really well. We like to incorporate as many beautiful things into our growing as possible that are edible, and these are a wonderful addition to salad and all kinds of things. And these ones make a really, really fun syrup.
Mommy, I said standing at the door and wanting to come in.
She's all right. I will also be starting some dandelion. Now, you might think I'm a little bit crazy, but again, we like to incorporate different greens and flowers in our diet wherever we can. These are Japanese varieties, again, from Baker Creek. A lot of the seeds that I start are from Baker Creek, but I do have some other companies I like as well. So these are Japanese dandelions. They are primarily grown for their greens, but I thought they are white and pink, and how beautiful are those. And we do utilize dandelion a lot on our farm. The greens are great for early spring when there's not a whole lot else growing, and also we use the flowers for making homemade country wines and salves and all kinds of things. So we're gonna give these ones a shot and see how they do, and see if we can't establish a nice little patch on our farm. Now, the last thing that I'm going to be starting today is some flowers. I like to have cut flowers. My daughter really loves cut flowers. So there's a couple, especially biennials, that I'd like to go ahead and see if we can get them a long enough growing season to go ahead and get them going. So that today is going to be some delphinium, some Canterbury Bells, and some foxglove. And I'm just gonna start by plugging in some seeds. You might notice I have absolutely 0 tags on this stuff, and I have lots of reasons for that, but I do line up my seeds in order on the tray and take a picture of them so that I know what I've planted where, especially when peppers or things that I want to know the varieties are concerned. So I think actually we had all but 1 jalapeno germinate, so I'm going to go ahead and pop a new seed in there. I had just a couple of holes here with these cayenne. Now we like to grow cayenne pepper so that we can make our homemade cayenne pepper powder. We also like to make cayenne tincture, which I pretty much take every single day. Okay. Now these Sugar Rush peach peppers, these are an amazing pepper. We've only had success with them one time. That has nothing to do with the seeds. That is a user error. But my husband would really like me to succeed in growing these again. So one. And I had, again, really good success with these. I only had 2 or 3 not come up, so I'll take that. Now, this last row, I planted these Sugar Rush Red. We have never been successful growing these, but they are, I mean, like, look at those, they're so fun. I love growing peppers, they're so beautiful. So I actually am gonna go ahead, I only had 2 of them germinate in that tray, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with these Sugar Rush peach peppers. My husband loves hot sauce and peppers and pickled peppers and all kinds of things, so I don't want to waste any space at all. And obviously, I will know when these all mature what they are. All right, that's the gaps for the peppers all filled in. The leeks all came up. However, I had one little section that they sort of got, I think they got a little fried under the heat lamp. So I'm just gonna pop in a couple more. These things might seem a little bit crowded to you right now, and that's just fine. We're gonna separate all this stuff out and pot it up here when these peppers have their first true leaves, and these leeks, we will deal with them here in just a little while as well. I am going to plant more leeks in a separate tray here in just a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and plant these dandelions. I don't have very many seeds, so hopefully they all come up. We will be covering this tray with plastic wrap. I will take better care of these this year. Last year we did not have a very great garden season up here. It was extremely hot very early on in the spring, and it just really was not a great year for me. Okay, and then I've got these Swiss Giants. Again, it's okay if you plant too many in a cell when you're doing it this small like this, because we'll just take them out here before they get too big, and we'll pot them in a bigger pot. I have found for most of my seeds, it's best not to plant them too deep. So I will not be planting these super deep. We'll cover them all up here in a second. And then lastly, there's these Black King Pansies. We have found one of our favorite jellies to make and simple syrups is a violet jelly. So this one with lemon actually turns like a brilliant purple color. And I know my daughter is especially excited. So I'm just gonna kind of pat these down. Like I said, I don't really want to cover them too much. Just kind of make sure there's good soil contact. And then we're gonna spray them with water and then cover them with the saran wrap. So I'm gonna try really hard for all of you who are watching, who are in my area. I'm going to try to plant out at exactly the time, and I'm gonna film it for you guys. So if you are trying to follow along with certain herbs or vegetables or flowers or anything like that, then you can actually just follow along with these videos and know what to plant and exactly when to plant it. So I won't be planting anything other than what I've shown you. The only thing I am kind of waffling against, or back and forth on whether or not I'm going to plant today, is going to be some greens. So we're talking mustard greens, kale, lettuces, things like that, spinach, arugula, things that are pretty hardy that I can plant. So if I start them in the house in sort of a tray like this, then I can put them into my greenhouse and get a jump start on the season. So I may go ahead and do that today. We'll see. It depends on how much room I have. Okay, so I have a new tray. It's already pre-soaked here. Looks good. I brought in a little bit of extra dirt because sometimes as seeds grow, you notice that and as you water it down, the dirt in the cells go down a little bit. So I'm gonna rinse my hands off. I try to have nice dry hands while I'm working with seeds, just because some of them are so tiny. So I've already lined out my seeds that I'm gonna start in this tray. I am gonna go ahead and fill this whole thing up. So in case you guys are wondering, I know you're gonna ask me what zone I'm in. Technically, I'm in a zone 4. However, I actually don't think that's the most important thing when you're talking about gardening, especially for annuals. Really, the most important thing that I have found is what is your frost dates. Your first frost date in the fall, and also your last frost date in the spring. Now here, that's a little bit tricky because even though everything says it could be mid-May for us, even at the very end of May, the truth is we should expect a frost really anytime through June. And honestly, anytime through the summer, we can expect the temperatures to dip low enough to blacken squash and things like that. So I don't necessarily go 8 to 12 weeks early or, 4 to 6 weeks early. I really just go what's worked in the past for me. And that's kind of how I've started planting things. And if I hear new information, I adjust accordingly. So we're just going to go ahead and get this tray planted out. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about how I do this and why I do this, I highly suggest you check out the Gardening Method by Charles Dowding. He starts seeds a little bit differently. So you basically start a lot more seeds in a very small area. Not quite like this, but very similar. And the goal is that you only plant the strongest, healthiest plants. Oh, these are tiny seeds. So these are Canterbury Bells. I'm trying really hard to establish a nice cottage garden feel here. I try to grow plants that are 50 to 60 days to harvest, because that just seems to produce the best results here for me. But obviously the ones that require longer than that, I need to start inside. So now I'm just going to press them down. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit extra soil over these onion ones because these are a little bit larger seeds, just to be sure. But really not too much, just a tiny bit. So we're just going to tuck this on here and make sure that this stays moist throughout the entire germination period. Some of this stuff will come up in just a couple of days. Some of it might take a couple of weeks. And that's just fine. We're just going to let it do its thing. I'll probably just put it somewhere by the light, but not necessarily right under the light until things start germinating. And then once they do, I'll pull it off and put it up under the light and we'll be good to go. So thanks again for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying these garden videos. I'm sure enjoying sharing my garden process with you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section for me and I will do my best to answer them. And if you're liking these videos, I would really love for you to hit the like button so more people can see them and subscribe. That'd be awesome. We'll see you guys again real soon.